All right, guys. Good morning. Thank you for joining our Google Plus Hangout. We're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to introduce a couple of people first before we do get started that are going to kind of go ahead and make this thing run a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you guys Jeff Oakland. Jeff, I'm going to unmute you for 1 second and pass you on over. Can everybody see Jeff? Jeff wave to the crowd.
Hello, crowd.
Jeff is actually Jeff. I'm not sure if I showed you or not. Here we go. I messed that up. There we go. Now wave to everybody.
Hello.
There we go. Jeff and I are very good friends, and he has helped me out quite a bit in different phases of my business. I own Tutillery Marketing, but the Local Business Internet Marketing University is what has spawned out of Tutillery Marketing, trying to help local businesses work through a lot of internet marketing things, including local SEO and all sorts of stuff. And we'll talk more about that later on. But Jeff's been a really big help. I really appreciate him. He's going to be moderating our Q&A today. So anytime that you do have a question, go ahead and post it in the chat. That'll be something that Jeff is monitoring, and he will write that down for our Q&A, which we'll have here probably in about 30 minutes or so, 20 or 30 minutes. Um, One other person that I wanted to thank is Chris Walker. He's currently in the Google Plus Hangout right now. Chris actually helped me iron out a lot of details today, or yesterday rather, and on the business hangout, and we got a lot of stuff going that needed to be ironed out. So I really appreciate him, and I would encourage everyone to go ahead and follow both Jeff and Chris on Google Plus. They're good resources, so I would definitely go ahead and do that. And while you're at it, go ahead and sorry about that. Go ahead and add us on Google Plus as well if you have not. It's the Local Business Internet Marketing University, and you'll be able to get all of our updates and all sorts of cool stuff. And before we actually really do get started with the presentation, I am going to go ahead and put a link in the description for everybody. Join hangout.biz. Okay, and if you guys would be so kind as to go ahead and put that on your Facebook page, on your Google Plus page, on your Twitter. What that is it's an instant link straight into our Google Plus Hangout today, so anyone that you know can come in and join on the fly and pick up a lot of this great information. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and give you about a minute or so to go ahead and put all that on your social media real quick. That'll really help us out and get some more people in here. So if you don't mind, go ahead and post that on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, LinkedIn, all those places. I'll give you about a minute to do that, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And actually, you know what, while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and explain to you exactly what we're going to be doing today, what the agenda is. I'm going to explain local SEO in probably about 15 minutes. We're going to not gloss over things, but we're just going to go through them relatively quickly because some people already know it, some people don't, and that'll give you a good solid foundation if you don't know it, and we can use that as a launching board into our Q&A. Which will be, you can, all those questions that you have about local SEO, we can get answered. I find it's much easier to go through the Q&A because it's a lot more targeted and you actually get your questions answered. So that's probably something a lot more valuable. But I do want to give an overview for about 15 minutes. I'm going to take about 5 minutes to tell my story, how I got started in local business, and what the Internet Marketing University really means to me for local businesses. And then after that, we're just going to open it up to Q&A and make sure everyone's questions get answered. Any questions that you guys have, please continue to put them in the chat, as we will be using that quite a bit to figure out what questions need to be answered. And like I said, Jeff will be monitoring that pretty heavily. So go ahead and give you guys about another couple of seconds to post those links out there, see if we can get some more people in, some more participation, and then we'll go ahead and launch right into it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, thanks for coming, guys. Hopefully, this is going to provide a lot of value for you. Local SEO and internet marketing for local businesses can be very complicated. You know, you've got all sorts of things from local search engine optimization to social media, blogging, content marketing, website design. A lot of people don't know that you can actually code your, or not code, but build your own website without coding. Through platforms such as WordPress, where instead of spending $2,000 to $3,000 on a website, you can just do it yourself for about probably under $100 and have a very nice looking website. So, you know, internet marketing is kind of Greek to a lot of people, especially local businesses, and I completely understand that. And local SEO is probably one of the subjects that is a little bit more complicated. Google uses over 200 different ranking signals to rank websites, for instance. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of factors that they take into account. So when it comes to local SEO, it's understandable to be confused. So really, the first couple of things that you need to know, or really the main things you need to know about local SEO, is that there are really 5 factors. Let's just actually break it down into 4. There's 4 factors that you need to know that influence your local SEO ranking or local search engine optimization ranking, and that is your Google Plus local page, your online reviews, citations, and your website. Those 4 things together really drive your ranking. And before I get into that too far, let's just talk about what search engine optimization is versus local SEO and what that really means. Search engine optimization is just exactly what it sounds like. You're optimizing your web properties for search engines. That doesn't always mean just your website. A lot of people focus on your website for search engine optimization, which is a great tool because you can control your website, you can control the voice and what is going on with your website, but it also means other properties. You know, blogs maybe that you have on something like WordPress.com or Blogger.com. A lot of times that means videos, YouTube videos, pretty much, or social media as well. You know, you can do search engine optimization for your social media, which we may cover some other day. But the whole thing about search engine optimization is just you're taking your web properties, making sure that they're showing up high in search results on Google for keywords that you want to rank for, keywords that you feel like people are typing in, and that if you were to get some traffic on Google from those keywords, would turn into money for you. That's what search engine optimization is about. Local search engine optimization, or local SEO, for short, is all about local businesses, because how Google ranks local businesses is completely different than how they rank regular web search results. And I said completely different. It's not completely different, but it is definitely different. And so we'll dive a little bit into that. And one thing before we get straight into it, search engine optimization isn't just about Google. It's about, you know, Bing, Yahoo, Bleco, all search engines out there. The reason we focus on Google too much is for 2 reasons. The first reason is that Google controls 67% of the market share. That means out of 100 people, 67 of them are going to search on Google. The other 17% are going to use Bing, and then another 11% are going to use Yahoo, and the rest is split up between all the other search engines. You understand why we use Google? Yeah, it's the beast out there. It is definitely the source of a lot of search engine traffic, the majority of it. And when you combine Bing and Yahoo together, they don't even make close to double the search market that Google makes. And then the second thing is, most search engine optimization, or search engines, the industry itself is actually very mature. They've been around for a very long time, and so because of that, there's been developed best practices. The factors that rank well on Google rank well on Bing. These are not exactly the same, but they're very similar because it's a mature industry, and they kind of understand that there's already an established algorithm or an established way to go about things. And let me go ahead, and Jeff accidentally dropped out, so let me go ahead and mute him real quick. Sorry about that. And so if you rank well on Google, the things you do for search engine optimization, if you rank well on Google, you're going to rank well on these other search engines as well. One tidbit of information that a lot of people don't know is that Yahoo actually uses Bing as their search engine. And I don't think, there we go. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mute Jeff completely. I apologize. Yahoo uses Bing as their search engine. So really, you're focusing on two search engines, Google and Bing. But when it comes down to it, you're going to rank well on both for the most part if you're doing search engine optimization. So let's go back to local SEO and those 4 factors we talked about: your Google Plus local page, your citations, your online reviews, and your website. And let's just work with your Google Plus local page for a second. What is a Google Plus local page? Google Plus local page is a page that Google creates for every single business that it knows of in the United States. Google's very good at getting data. That's their entire job, is to crawl the internet and collect data so that they can put it in their search engine. So naturally, they're very good at picking it up for local businesses as well. They get this information from all sorts of different databases out there. So a lot of people are surprised when they haven't really heard of local SEO and they just get started. They're surprised when Google already has a Google Plus local page for them. Don't be surprised. Google's game is finding out information. So you probably have a Google Plus local page already that you did not know about. And what you need to do is you need to go in and claim and optimize it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and show you a little bit about how to do that real quick. All right. Sorry about that. So let's go to google.com/places. Okay, and if you don't have a Google account, you're going to need one, so go ahead and sign up for one. But once you're here, you can just click the right sign in button, and you can just type in your phone number right here and click find business information. If Google has information for you, then they will actually show it to you. So I'll go ahead and type in my phone number for Tutillery Marketing, and I messed that up. There we go. And they're not going to have any business information for me. See, it says no address found for a business using 502-2153. So then they're going to ask me to input my information. So you're going to go through here, through the same process, whether they have info for you or they don't, and you're going to go through here and fill out this entire profile. The more you fill out, the better. Now, one thing to note is that my Google account actually is much, much older. So I have the old, what they call dashboard. Okay, if you have a new Google account, how you sign up for this is going to look completely different, but the process is going to be pretty much the same. You're going to find your local business, you're going to claim it, and you're going to optimize it. So how can you optimize your Google Plus local page? The easiest way to optimize your Google Plus local page is to just go through there and fill out your information completely. Okay, make sure you put your name, your address, your phone number. Make sure that whatever name and address and phone number that you put in there is the name and address that and phone number you're going to use for a very long time. I think that goes without saying, but I guess say that more specifically, your name, whatever you use for your name. A lot of people use their legal name and then decide, like for example, A&A Insurance LLC. Okay, and then they use that for a while and they go, we don't like that, let's just use A&A Insurance. For your internet marketing, you need to be consistent. You need to pick one name and go with it throughout the entire time, and we'll talk about why that is more when we get into local citations. So when it comes to your Google Plus local page, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you have a good description that encourages people to click on you, because people will find your Google Plus local page. You need to make sure that you have filled out your categories completely, because that's how Google's going to categorize you to rank you for certain keywords. Make sure you have a lot of photos, at least 10, and just in general, make sure you fill out all the information on your Google Plus local page, and you should be fine there. All right, so that's your first thing. And your Google Plus local page, how much that affects your ranking is a topic of debate. I would say that it doesn't really affect your ranking that much, whether you put, a keyword here, a keyword there. It just simply allows you to rank on Google Plus local in the in the local pack results. If you don't have a Google Plus local page, you can't rank there. We used to think that optimizing your Google Plus local page was the way to get found on local search. You need to have your keywords here and there and, in certain strategic places. But now we've kind of come to the realization that that may not be entirely accurate. And at the least, you just need to fill out everything. If you want to go ahead and try and put keywords in certain places, that's fine as well. Okay, so that's your Google Plus local page. Let's go ahead and jump on citations next. Citations are simply a mention of your local business out there somewhere on the internet. Okay, your name, your address, and your phone number. And we actually take that name, address, and phone number and scrunch it down into NAP. That's an industry term. We use it quite a bit because instead of typing name, address, and phone number all the time, we can just use NAP, and that gets the information across really quick. But the reason that's so important is because your NAP needs to be consistent. We talked about A&A Insurance LLC. Well, if your information on the internet, and we'll talk more about where that stuff's at in just a second, is A&A Insurance LLC on Google Plus Local, but in the rest of the world, on the rest of the internet, you're A&A Insurance, and that's it. Google's probably going to be able to pick up on that, but why leave it to chance? You want everything to be completely uniform. So where are you going to find these places to put your local business information, to put your NAP at? Well, the most traditional place is local search directories, such as Yelp, City Search, YP.com, Superpages.com. These local search directories are actually search engines in and of themselves, and they exist purely to provide local business information to people. For instance, Yelp is one of the most popular ones. You're probably familiar with Yelp. If you were to go to Yelp and type in pizza restaurants in Houston, Texas, you're going to get pizza restaurants in Houston, Texas. That's their whole point. That's the whole reason they exist. Google will return you all over the internet. I sprained my ankle. How do I heal it? Good workout routines to lose weight or whatever. But that's not the point of these local search directories. These local search directories are trying to answer one question, and that question is, what are the best local businesses out there for you in certain categories? Dentists, chiropractors, plumbers, lawyers, all over the spectrum. That's what these local search directories do. And how they do it is they do the same thing Google does, and they find local business information all across the entire nation. They are not as good at Google as it, or they are not as good at Google at it. They're not. Wow, I really messed that up. They're not as good as Google when it comes to grabbing this information, but they are still pretty good. Don't be surprised if your local business info is on Yelp, is on YP.com, especially if you've advertised with the Yellow Pages. Don't be surprised if your information is on there. But what Google wants to see is they want to see how prominent you are on the internet. They are an online company. They are an online entity. They are a computer. They cannot judge your offline branding. Okay, they can't see your billboards and see how popular and prominent you are in the community. So how they judge that is by seeing how popular you are on the internet through these local search directories. How many profiles do you have? There's probably close to over 200 local search directories out there, 200 plus. Okay, now if you're on 2 out of 200, let's just say that it's 200. If you're on 2 out of 2 or 200 out of 200, then you're doing really well, and you're going to rank decently well, at least where local citations are concerned. If you're only on 10 out of 200, you're not doing so well. All else being the same, Company A has 30 out of 200 local search directories filled out, and then Company B has 150 local search directories filled out. Company B, all else being the same with your website, your Google Plus local page, and your online reviews, Company B will outrank Company A. So it's important to be on all these local search directories. And how do you do that? Well, luckily, all these local search directories are going to provide you free profiles to sign up for. They do that because they want you to come in and give them better business information so they can return better information to the people that are searching, because if they help the people that are searching, they'll keep coming back and keep making them money. So they really rely on you to tell them about your business. Every local search directory profile you sign up for is going to help you in your local SEO ranking, because Google will actually go to those websites, crawl them, and see, oh, A&A Insurance is on Yelp. Give them a vote. They're on YP.com. Give them a vote. They're on Manta, Angie's List, all these other local search directories. So make sure you fill out these local search directory profiles. They're all free. 99% of them are free. The 1% that cost money, don't pay attention to them. Just forget them, and just concentrate on the ones that are free. And that's pretty much it for local citations. One thing to mention about that, I guess, would be that a citation, like I said, is really just a mention of your business on the internet, of your name, address, and phone number, your NAP. Most of the time, 95% of the time, that's going to be on a local search directory. However, every once in a while, you get an article written about you in the local paper, or you have some type of article published or something on the internet. Put your NAP on there. That's your name, address, and phone number. That's going to help you as well. And those are untraditional citations, the traditional citations being the local search directories, but they still are a factor and they still count. So make sure that you're signing up for all these local search directories, and make sure that your information is consistent. Remember, make sure your name is A&A Insurance LLC if that's what you want, and use it on all these local search directories. If your address is 382 Parkview Drive and you spell drive D-R-I-V-E, use drive everywhere else. If you spell it DR, use DR everywhere else. If you use DR period, use DR period everywhere else. I'm inundating you a little bit, but I'm trying to drive that point home, is that it needs to be consistent so Google can pick up your local citation information. Are they sophisticated enough to pick it up if you make a mistake? More than likely, but why leave it to chance? I've seen Google do a lot of things that I did not expect them to do. I expected them to be much more sophisticated, so let's not leave it to chance. The best thing to do is just copy and paste information. Write down all your local business information on a worksheet or on a Word document, copy and paste over. Okay, those are local search directories. Let's go ahead and tackle online reviews. Online reviews are really simple. Google gives you an opportunity on your Google Plus Local page. You see how important your Google Plus Local page is. Gives you an opportunity to get reviews. The more reviews you get, the better off you will be. Okay, and Google also looks at online reviews from other local search directories, such as Yelp, across their entire spectrum. Anytime you get an online review on a local search directory, it's going to help you with your SEO ranking. Anytime you get a Google Plus Local review, or a Google review, as we call it for short, it's going to help you with your ranking. Okay. After a certain point, I'm not really sure how much they help. I'd say after about 20 Google reviews, it's not as helpful to your ranking. However, it's still encouraged. The more reviews you have, it still encourages people to click on you and call you. So online reviews play a big part. Make sure you're getting online reviews. And finally, website. Your website is a huge portion of your local search engine optimization strategy. Okay, I've heard it explained like this, and I don't really agree with this, but it's a good way for you to look at it. When it comes to how you're going to rank for local or for search engines on local SEO, you've got 25%. Okay, citations, 25% online reviews, and then 50% website. Okay, 50% of your ranking is made up by your website, more or less. Like I said, I kind of disagree with that a little bit, but it's a good way to think about it. Fourth for local citations, a fourth for online reviews, a half, 50% for your website. So that's how important your website really is. The reason we don't put the Google Plus Local page in there is, like we said, it's your Google Plus Local page isn't necessarily a ranking factor. You know, it's not gonna. Here's my Google Plus Local page is more optimized than yours. It's more about you have one. Okay, so that you can have online reviews, so that you can actually rank in the local pack whatsoever. So let's go back to your website. Let's talk a little bit more about your website. Your website actually can be split down into two different factors, okay? Not four, two. Two different factors, and those factors are on-page and off-page factors. On-page being everything to do with your website on your website. So your content, things, and this may confuse you, but don't get confused. We're actually going to give you a guide later on, or a link to where you can download a local SEO guide that I've written that'll explain this much better. But don't get sad if you don't understand what a title tag is, for instance, or a meta description tag. That's explained in the local SEO guide. We'll give you that link to go download it here in a second. But the on-page factors have to do with on your website, such as in your content, in your title tag, in your meta description tag, in your URLs, all that stuff. Okay. Off-page factors have to do with links. Okay. And what is a link? Most people understand what a link is, but I do want to explain it for those that don't, because it can be a very confusing subject or topic right out of the gate. A link is simply when you go to someone's website and they say, hey, go check out this person's website here. And you click on that here text and it takes you to that person's website. That is a link. Okay, and what Google does and how Google got popular, when Google first started out, search engines basically more or less looked at how many times keywords were on there. You know, if I had a website that I wanted to rank for blue widgets, and someone else had a website that wanted to rank for blue widgets, whoever put blue widgets on there the most was going to rank the highest, more or less. It was a little bit more sophisticated than that, but not too much more sophisticated. Google came along and said, yeah, that's a really bad way to look at that. We're going to look at the relationship. We're going to let people or users tell us what the most popular websites are by looking at what websites they're linking to. So if website A links to website B is going to get a jump in ranking because website A, by putting a link to website B, gave them a vote of authority. Does that make sense? So you've got 25% off-page factors, which are your links. Get links to your website. And in the Q&A, I'm sure we'll talk more about how to get links to your website as a local business. The other 25% is making sure that your keywords are in the right places on your website. If you're a plumber, make sure you're talking about plumbing on your website. I know that goes without saying, but some people miss that step, ironically enough. If you're a plumber in Phoenix, Arizona, make sure that on your website, in your content, you're talking about plumbing in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Now you don't need to stuff keywords in there because that's actually going to get you penalized potentially. Okay. You need to be very careful with how much you use your keywords. A lot of people say they use the term keyword density, and it's pretty self-explanatory, but for every 100 words, a certain amount of those words need to have keywords in them. Okay. We say about 2 to 5%. Okay. About out of every 100 words on your website, 2 to 5 of those words need to be your keywords. The rest need to be other stuff, and it's not that hard to keep it to 2 to 5%. And I think once you get into it, once you start writing your content, you'll kind of understand. But make sure you're optimizing your title tags. If you don't know what that is, like I said, go download our local SEO guide here in a second. It'll explain everything. Make sure you put in your meta tags and your URLs as well. And then, like, going right back to links. Links are actually probably the most powerful thing. It makes up 25% of your ranking. Those off-page factors for local SEO, links make up 25%. Okay, but the ceiling for them is much, much higher than it is for on-page optimization. There's only so much on-page you can do. There's only so many local citations you can get. There's only so many search directories out there, okay? And then there's only so many online reviews that you can get before it doesn't really count as much anymore. You'll probably never get there with online reviews because online reviews are kind of hard to get, but links, there is no ceiling, okay? It's just that's the easiest way for me to explain it, is there is no ceiling. Every single link you get is going to count and continue to push your ranking higher and higher and higher. So that's pretty much it for local SEO. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that. Like I said, Google has over 200 different factors they consider when ranking your website, but that's a good base overview and a good way to lead into our Q&A. So before we go ahead and jump into our Q&A, what we're going to do is I want to talk just a little bit about how I got started in local business. I'm going to make this really quick. I got started in local business after I graduated college. I graduated from Trevecca Nazarene University in 2010 and got started in Nashville working for a local hot tub retail company. When I got started, my boss wanted me to focus heavily on internet marketing, especially local SEO. And so I was just starting out. There wasn't, a lot of information out there at the time, and there still isn't a lot of information out there at the time. And you can understand why companies get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to do local SEO. So why would they tell you how they do it, right? I mean, it's the same thing for my company, Tutelary Marketing. There's no reason for me to necessarily share my secrets, or there was no reason for me to share my secrets until now. But as you can imagine, it was very, very hard for me to get started in local SEO because no one was talking about it, and it took me forever. And then on top of that, my boss was also paying another company to do local SEO. He was paying them $1,500 a month, which that sounds like a lot to us as local business owners, but that's really not that much when it comes to SEO. That's average, if not a little below average, for quality local SEO. So, but he had wanted me to kind of start learning, so maybe we could shift funds away from them and we could just use me for the local SEO. Well, it was tough sledding, months and months and months of work, and I still didn't know a lot about it. And eventually I did overcome that, but it took more work than it needed to. And if I had something like the Local Business Internet Marketing University when I had just started, it would have been fantastic because my boss would have been able to save $1,500 a month, and I could have done everything for him, and I could have done the SEO better than that local SEO company. Because I had more time to devote to it than they did. When you outsource to an SEO company, what you're doing is paying for 4 or 5 hours of their time a month. I could have spent a lot more time on it. All I needed was the knowledge. And that's what the university is about. We're about providing you with the knowledge, not just the knowledge of on local SEO, but on website design, building your own website so you don't have to pay someone else to do it, social media, blogging, content marketing, all these types of internet marketing. That's what we do at the university is we explain all of that for you. And how we do it is through video tutorials. And I sit down and go through video tutorials on what exactly do you need to do on page, and you can watch the video as I do it for a client, and you can kind of see exactly how it's done. We walk you step by step through the process, and that's awesome. Those videos are great. There's tons of them, but really the gym is the support. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You have unlimited access to me on the forum, and if you post a question on our online forum in the university, it's going to be answered within 60 minutes. That's our guarantee. So really, basically, what you have is what I needed back when I was working for that local hot tub retail company. I needed someone to walk me through by the hand on how all this internet marketing stuff works, and then I needed to be able to ask them questions. I needed to be asking them a lot of questions. So that's what we have at the university. That's kind of my story. I wish I had had something like that. And so when I started my own local SEO company, really my own internet marketing company, we do more than local SEO. I I decided that this is something that I wanted to do in the future, and it's been 2.5 years since I started my company, and it's about time we started. So the product is out now, and if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to our website and learn more. So that is about it for my story. I wanted to go ahead and jump into the Q&A, and let's go ahead and let Jeff back into the conversation. Hey Jeff, how you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good, doing well. All right, so we've got a couple of questions here, and we're going to go ahead and run through those. And as we are going through these questions, please, as you're participating, start writing questions for us. We are here. Normally, if you've ever been a part of a Google Plus Hangout or something like a webinar, normally the person is talking for 50 minutes. Every time I get on a webinar or Google Plus Hangout, I'm annoyed by the person talking for 50 minutes because a lot of times it's information I've already heard before. I want to ask questions, and it seems like clockwork. They never get to the questions. They'll answer 10 or 15, but after that it's over. So I on purpose made the instructional stuff very short because we actually cover it in our local SEO guide. And let me give you the link to that guide real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the chat so that you guys can go and download it right now. Okay. Okay, and so there it is. If you guys go to that link, then you will be able to download the local SEO guide, and it goes more into detail on certain aspects of the ranking algorithm for Google and how to do that. But that's what the local SEO guide was for, so that I can get through the instructional part really quick, and we could go ahead and start answering questions, because that's what I want when I go to Google Plus Hangouts or webinars. I want my questions answered, so we want to do that for you too. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Actually, Jeff, I'm gonna go ahead and take the first one.
Okay.
Chris, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Chris asks, do you have a favorite WordPress theme or theme merchant? And Chris, that's a fantastic question. I used to, is the short answer. The long answer is no. The thing about WordPress, and just for those people that don't know what WordPress is a website building software, and basically it's amazing. It's so simple and it's so SEO friendly. I could teach my mom, who I won't say her age because she would be upset at me about that, but my mom could build it, okay? And I could sit there and show her exactly what to do, and she'd be able to build full-fledged, beautiful-looking websites. You see WordPress websites all the time. They're on 1 out of 6 of all the websites on the internet. 1 out of 6 websites on the internet is built through WordPress. It's a simple, easy platform to use, and a theme, a WordPress theme, is basically the visual component of the WordPress website. What does it look like? When you see what a website looks like, a WordPress website, that's its theme. And so Chris's question is a great question. What we've started doing when it comes to WordPress themes is not worrying so much about SEO, because there's great plugins that you can use for SEO. Plugins are just add-ons that you can add on to the WordPress platform, excuse me, and extend the functionality a little bit. So we don't worry about SEO for the WordPress themes very much. What we're more interested in is how does it look, and how fast is it? How many requests does it make to the server before it actually loads? Because how fast your website loads is a ranking factor. Google's gone on record saying that the internet should be fast. Okay, if you notice, Google's probably the fastest website out there, and it returns a ton of information. They think it should be fast. Your website should be fast. So when we look at a WordPress theme, we look at how does it look, is it appealing to the eye, and is it going to load really quickly. And the WordPress theme we were using was awesome. We really liked it because it was really user friendly. However, we found out that it just makes way too many requests to the server. It loads too slow. There's plugins you can use to make it load faster, but we want it to load faster without the plugins, and then we want to add in the plugin to make it load even faster. So right now I don't, but I do have some good recommendations for you. I would check out Genesis themes. I would also check out Elegant themes, and there's one more, Thesis, I believe. Those seem to be the 3 most popular website or WordPress themes out there. And I would even go, and Chris also asked, what about a theme merchant? I don't have a favorite theme merchant. I use ThemeForest quite a bit if I'm going to look for a WordPress template, but now I get so deep into it that I feel like maybe ThemeForest can't meet my needs on that level. I would probably go more with something like Elegant Themes, which is incredibly cheap. It's $39 a year, and you get access to, I think, 90 different themes, which I don't think anyone else provides that. And they also provide support. I wouldn't go through, and here's the reason I wouldn't go through ThemeForest. To be on ThemeForest, you don't have to provide, like the theme provider doesn't have to provide support. Elegant Themes and Thesis and Genesis Themes, they provide support. So you can go onto the forum and ask a question, and I want to move this over here on my website, and someone's going to reply to you and tell you how to do it. So that was a very long answer to that question, but there you go. Conrad asks, do pictures named with keywords help? That is a fantastic question, Conrad. Thank you for asking. On Google Plus Local, we're really not sure how much that correlates to ranking. What Conrad is asking is when you upload pictures, the picture name, one of the best practices used to be Google's going to look at that picture name, and they still do, especially when it comes to your website. They're going to look at the file name for that image. But what about your Google Plus Local page? Well, before people uploaded their pictures to Google Plus Local, they would put keywords in the file name. Like if you're a lawyer in Atlanta, you would type in Atlanta lawyer or something similar. Right now, I wouldn't necessarily, that's a ranking factor for Google Plus Local necessarily. I think you should still do it just in case. There's a lot of things when it comes to local SEO that we do just in case that it does work or works in the future. In fact, a lot of the stuff that we do with Google Plus, it's not helping necessarily right now, but it definitely will in the future. I expect one day to wake up and come check all my clients out and them to be #1 for everything, because all the stuff we do on Google Plus. But right now, it may not correlate very well to a Google Plus local ranking. However, I do think it probably plays a big factor in local search directory rankings. Remember that, you know, Yelp, City Search, YP.com, people actually still go to these local search directories and look for local businesses. So you want to rank well on there. They take into account picture names, I'm sure. Google will also, if they're able, will crawl those pictures on those local search directories and find more keywords for you. So it's great to have your keywords there as well. And it's also not going to hurt you on Google Plus Local. So go ahead and put your keywords in the pictures, but be careful about how much you do it. For every 10 pictures, I'd say put keywords in 3 to 4. The other 5 to 6 pictures, no, I didn't do that math right. The other 7 to 6 pictures, I would go ahead and put in, you know, regular words. Like if it's your logo, put in logo for Atlanta A&A insurance or something, whatever your brand name is. So hopefully they answer that question, and I appreciate it. And Conrad's got another one. Oh no, sorry, that was a comment. Thank you, Conrad. I appreciate that comment. Josh has a question. Let me go ahead and load that up. With the recent push to clean up the integrity of online reviews, do you see any changes on the horizon for internet marketing or SEO? Wow, what a great question. I think probably what Josh is referring to is Yelp has come out with a filter, and it's been around for a while, but it's really starting to gain a lot of traction and a lot of annoyance from local business owners. What happens is, I won't put a percentage on it, but when you leave a review on Yelp, there's a good chance it's going to get filtered. They don't want fake reviews. Now they'll still show that review, but it will be filtered to the point where you're going to have to go through a couple of steps to find it. So they're really trying to clean up the integrity of online reviews, because what a lot of local business owners will do is they'll post fake reviews, or they'll hire someone in India to post reviews. We don't encourage that. We encourage you to actually engage with your customers and get them to leave you online reviews, and we can actually talk about a process for that as well. And in fact, Jeff, if you'll go ahead and add that to the Q&A at the bottom, just add local or online review process, how to get more online reviews, and we'll answer that question in a little bit. I think Google's also come out with a little bit of a filter. They've experimented with a filter multiple times. I think what you're going to start to see is that it's going to be more of a crackdown on these reviews. I think that, you know, these local search directories and Google as well will see where these IP addresses are. If a review has been left 5 times by the same IP address, they're going to knock it out. I don't think there'll ever be a penalty associated with it, but they're just going to start tightening down the online reviews. So it's more important than ever to actually start reaching out to your customers and getting real online reviews. And one thing I'll get into later on when we ask that question, but Facebook, you can actually use Facebook to log into Yelp and I believe City Search as well and leave a review. One of the big obstacles of online reviews is that you normally have to have an account at that local search directory to leave a review. You need a Google account to leave a Google review. You need a Yelp account to leave a Yelp review. City Search account to leave a City Search review. However, you can log into Facebook through Yelp and City Search and leave a review, and everyone has a Facebook account. So it makes it a lot easier to overcome that obstacle of having an account. So great question, Josh. Jeff, go ahead and hit us with your first question we got on the Q&A.
Okay. All great questions, by the way, guys. What are some of the SEO options for WordPress sites, like plugins that are worthwhile and proven?
Perfect. That's a great question. Probably the most popular plugin that I can think of, and the one that I use the most, is called Yoast. 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 It does a lot of really cool things, but the most important thing is that it helps you with your title tags and your meta description tags and allows you to customize those. Not every WordPress theme will allow you to customize those, but Yoast, if you install that plugin, it lets you do it automatic, or not automatically, you'll still have to type it in manually, but it allows you much greater control. It also generates an XML sitemap for you, and if you don't know what a sitemap is, a sitemap is basically a layout for Google on how your website is laid out. So you can tell Google where your pages are, things like that. It doesn't necessarily, I don't think, correlate to a good ranking factor, but if you have one, it's not like you're going to rank better than someone who doesn't. That may be true. It's one of those things that people debate about all the time, but it's just a good practice to have it so that Google can know all the pages on your website and crawl it. So I would definitely use Yoast. There's one other thing with Yoast that I didn't mention, but I can't think of off the top of my head. At any rate, it's a really good plugin to use. And that's really the only SEO plugin that I use, because all the other SEO plugins are out there like, well, see what your SEO score is and stuff like that. I don't put any faith in those. I just put faith in the knowledge that I have and understanding that it needs to be in the content. Your keywords need to be in the URL. They need to be a lot of different places. So that's a good question. Go ahead with the next one, Jeff.
Okay, this one is in reference to blog posts.
Okay.
After I create the blog post, where do I need to post it? And would that be posted on Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus? What do I need to do about that?
Okay, great question. So blogging is actually a really great way to extend your internet marketing presence. Every time you post a blog, it really does three things. It gives Google more content to crawl. It gives you a fresh factor. The fresher your website is, the higher Google wants to rank you because they feel like you're more up to date. It also helps you have a voice in social media. A lot of times what people post on social media is links to other sites, and that's great. They provide value. On social media, your objective is to provide value and to get people to continue to keep coming back. But a lot of times you're sending them to other websites, and that is not something that you want to do. You want to keep them on your website, right? So what you can do is when you post your blog post, you have a voice, right? And you are able to say what you want to say and control exactly what goes on. So blog posts are great. Now let's see. Oh, he was asking, that's right. Oh, and one other thing for blog posts is that when people come to your website, they see you have a blog and they see that you're an authority. They read some of your blog posts. It makes them want to become a customer that much more. People want experts to come and provide services to them. They don't want someone that they're going to have to keep calling out over and over and over. Your blog is an opportunity to be the expert. And when you're the expert, people want to do business with you. So a blog is fantastic. How to get, I think really the question that was being asked was how to get more eyes to your blog post. That's kind of tough for local businesses, but your biggest tool is social media. Your Facebook page, your Twitter page, your Google Plus page, LinkedIn. Depending on what industry you're in, you're going to use different social media avenues, different platforms. But the more the more eyeballs you can get on your blog post, the better. And really, you're going to want to post all that to social media. I think another worthwhile topic to go into is how do I manage my social media as well. There's great platforms out there. The one that I currently use that I'm not incredibly impressed with but is decent is Hootsuite. I haven't tried any other social media platform. I know it's probably by far the most popular, but you can schedule your social media posts in advance. I still log into my social media accounts. For local business, that's not a big deal. It only becomes a big deal when you're having to deal with clients. You're having to log into this Facebook page and then log out and log into this one. As a local business, you only have one Facebook page, right, that you need to log into. So I probably wouldn't even recommend any software for you. I would just recommend make sure you're staying logged in to your social media, and that's really how you can get the most eyes on your blog. Another way that a lot of blog people get traffic to their blog, not just local businesses, but everybody, they start posting on sites such as like alltop.com. That alltop.com is kind of an aggregator for blog posts, and so what they'll do is if you submit your website and you get accepted, they'll actually put your articles on their website for people to check out, and um, a lot of times people will come to those through there, but that traffic may not help. Like let's say like you're in Jacksonville and you're getting traffic from Denver, that they can't use your services if you're in Jacksonville. So it's not necessarily always going to help, but that's another thing to do. And you need to make sure you're optimizing your blog posts. A great thing to do with your blog posts is answered frequently asked questions. I think for one of our roofers, we put what's the difference between 3-tab shingles and architectural shingles. We get hits on that all the time, and the reason that's important, it shows up in Google, so people click on it. And the reason that's important is because the better content you create, the more links you're going to get. We've gotten a lot of links to that blog post from other websites because it's an authoritative post and it gives good information. So that's actually a linking strategy, is to just create great content, make sure you put it out there, and get more eyeballs to it. So I hope that answers that question a little bit. All right, Jeff, you want to go ahead and ask the next one?
Yeah,
You know what?
Jason and Conrad
Hold on
also
one
had a
second.
few other questions
Let's
on the
say,
side from the group chat. Jason asked, is Jetpack the best way to connect those blog posts to social media?
let me see here real quick. We'll see if we can pop that up on the page. There we go. That's a good question. Jason, honestly, I don't have that much experience with Jetpack. The only thing I use Jetpack for, and for those people out there wondering what Jetpack is, it's a WordPress plugin developed by WordPress itself, and it helps with a lot of functionality. I don't have experience with the Jetpack WordPress plugin when it comes to the social media aspect. And make sure you put in the comments any follow-ups to this so I can make sure I answer your question. But I think your question, it revolves around the social media feature of Jetpack, which I think just helps you push out your content to your blog immediately, or I'm sorry, push out the content to your social media immediately. Again, I would encourage you to just do that natively. Open up your Facebook page and put a link there to it, and craft sculpt a message to go along with that, instead of, hey, here's my blog post. I would log into Twitter, I would log into Google Plus, LinkedIn. There's a rumor going around for a while, which I still don't know if it's true or not, but that when you post things on Facebook through a third party like Hootsuite or through Jetpack, that your posts don't get looked at as frequently. Google filters them out, or not Google, Facebook filters them out a little bit. Again, rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just one thing to think about, because it makes sense. If you're Facebook, you don't want people spamming all the time. How do people spam? Through third-party applications. The people that log in natively into their Facebook and post straight from the Facebook platform normally have better quality posts to share. So I hope that answered your question, Jason. If it doesn't, make sure that you follow up in the comments, and we'll go from there on that. I'm gonna go ahead. We've got Conrad's question. Conrad's got another great question. I have heard blogs are good for long tail keywords. What do you know about that? That's a great question. Long tail keywords, when it comes to local SEO, and when you're looking for blog SEO and how to rank your blog higher, remember that most of the tips out there aren't for local businesses. They're for actual blogs who don't care where their traffic comes from. Again, the example in Jacksonville and Denver, someone who's running a mommy blog doesn't care if the person's in Denver or not. That's fine. They can still potentially sell them products. That person in Denver can still potentially click on their ads. For a local business, that's not true. Don't run ads on your local business website. So if you don't, I hope you're not running ads. That's not the point of a local business website. So there's no ads for people to click on. There's no product for someone to buy. So what you're wanting is calls. You're wanting service. You're wanting service calls. So your blog is much more focused regionally. When people talk about when they talk about long tail keywords, they're trying to rank for services, or not services, for products with a blog normally. You don't want to necessarily send traffic to your blog locally. If you had a choice between sending a potential customer to your blog post or to a service page, which one would you choose? I would choose service page, because it's going to have our phone number on there. It's going to have a strong call to action. It's going to give people more information. A blog post is normally just answering questions or talking about a certain topic. it doesn't. We don't use our blog posts ever to promote ourselves. The one reason we don't do that is because people are less likely to link to our blogs if they're promoting us. They don't want to promote us. They want to promote a subject. So people are less likely to link to the blog. And it, the short answer is I wouldn't worry about sending people to the blog through long tail keywords. I would optimize my service pages for that instead. So, all right, let's see. Jeff, you want to go ahead and hit us with another question real quick?
Sure. Why is it that I can rank high in local results but not in the organic search on Google?
Oh man, wow, what a fantastic question. And I believe that came from either Jason or Conrad. I can't remember, but thank you for that question. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen with you guys real quick, and let's talk a little bit about that. Let's see here. Man, I'm having a really hard time sharing my screen today. um, one more time. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. Found it. All right. So here we go. All right. So let's just type in Atlanta lawyer. We've been using that a lot. Okay, so when this is a search engine results page, and we talk more about this in the local SEO guide too, but a SERP is just basically when you type in a keyword, what's the page that comes up? What's the search engine results page? All right, and let's break this down real quick. Really, there's two categories when it comes to a search engine results page or a SERP. There are the ads, which are normally the top three results up here, and they are denoted by like a light pink background. It also says ads here. People are paying to be up here. They're paying if I were to click this person right now, it would cost them some money. Okay, so they're paying to be up here. These are ads over here on the right hand side as well. Now right here, starting right here under that pink background, right here all the way down are all what we call organic search results. They're affected by Google's algorithm, and they're affected by search engine optimization. So just a quick stat on that, 2 to 15, there's a lot of studies that have been given on how often people click on ads versus search engine optimization or versus the organic results. The one that I find the most stock in is 2 to 15% of people are going to click an ad, 70% of people are going to click something in the organic section that's affected by Google's algorithm because the results are higher quality, and plus people don't want to be advertised to normally. That doesn't mean that advertisements in the search engines are bad. In fact, they're fine. You know, you never get charged unless someone clicks on you. But if you're looking for high volume, SEO for high volume can't be beat. Okay, so let's just keep focusing on SEO down here, these organic ranking. And we call them organic, like I said, because they're affected by Google's algorithm and their natural results. Now, there are two different results happening here, as you can see. Okay, these first three results, they've got their title, their website, and a description. Okay, a very long description. These are web results. Okay, and these right here with reviews, the little balloons, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the phone number and addresses. These are called this is the local pack. And when we talked about local SEO, when we talked about your citations, your online reviews, your off-page factors, your on-page factors. That's what it's going to take to rank in the local pack. Today what we've been talking about is how to rank in the local pack. We haven't focused too much on these web results right here. However, I've got some good news for you. The way that you rank for these web results right here is actually just optimizing your off-page and your on-page factors. Okay, if you optimize your off-page factors by getting links and you optimize your on-page factors by putting keywords in your content, you're going to naturally rank really well in website results right here. And as long as you've worked with your online reviews and worked with your citations, you're going to rank well here as well. And it's possible to rank in the local pack and also rank up here in the web results as well. And let's see, let's go back. And Jeff, remind me of the question again real quick. Let me see here. Let me unmute you. Remind me of the question again, real quick, Jeff. Was it
Why is it that I can rank high in local on the letters on the map
but
results,
not?
but not in
Gotcha.
the organic
Okay,
city?
yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay, so the reason that is because you can rank high in the web results because or I'm sorry, well in the local pack, but because you've optimized probably really well your local citations and your online reviews, and haven't optimized your website so well yet. Okay, so I would start focusing more on getting links and focus more on optimizing your keywords on your pages and your structure on your site and things like that. If you're ranking well in the web results and not very well in the local pack, it's because your website's doing really well, but you've neglected, either your online reviews, your Google Plus local page, or your citations. So make sure, if you're ranking well in one but not the other, some of those factors are at fault there. So that was a fantastic question. All right, Jeff, you got another one for us?
Sure do. Okay, this one kind of revolves around the same thing. I noticed my website ranks higher. So, for instance, carpet cleaning while I'm in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But that it does not on the cleaning city while in the same location.
Okay, yeah. That's a little bit more difficult of a question to answer. Basically, the question being asked was when someone types in just carpet cleaning and Google knows their location is, let's go with Columbus, Ohio. Okay, type in carpet cleaning and Google knows their location is in Columbus, Ohio. They didn't type in Columbus, Ohio. Google just knows it. So why? What's the difference in ranking there versus someone typing in carpet cleaning Columbus? The answer to that question is I don't exactly know the complete answer. My guess, and that's what I have, my guess is that there's certain local signals that your website doesn't have, such as microdata, which probably is way beyond the scope of this hangout. But microdata is basically letting Google know on your website that you are a local business through your name, address, and phone number, but it has to be formatted a certain way. That's probably something I need to cover at some point. But there's also your KML file, which is a location file that you can put on your website. But for whatever reason, Google is picking up more local signals from other local businesses if you're not ranking well for just the keyword carpet cleaning. There's other local businesses that are having better local signals, and those local signals, and I'm just spitballing here because I don't focus on that so much. Normally, we rank well in both areas, but just to spitball a little bit, it could be check-ins. Facebook has a way for people to check into a local business. So does Foursquare. Foursquare is another great local search directory you need to be on. Google may see more check-ins and may have more confidence. It could also be in relation to proximity, which I highly doubt, but I'll cover that anyway. The closer the person is geographically to the business, that has a big effect on mobile, because when you're running around with your website or with your phone in your hand on your smartphone, you kind of want to know places that are close to you, not necessarily service providers, right? So that it may have a little bit to do with proximity. I kind of doubt that, but I think that would be a little archaic on Google's part. But then again, Google does a lot of archaic stuff. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. All right, Jeff, what about another one?
Okay. Um, what services besides Google Plus Local do you list customers' websites in, such as Yahoo or Bing Local?
Oh, great question. Okay. So actually in the local SEO guide, we have a list of 15 local search directories that you need to be on. So make sure you go download that. That's the top 15 that I would recommend. Includes, off the top of my head, Bing Local, Yahoo Local, Yelp, City Search, Super Pages, Kudzu, Insider Pages, Manta.com, Angie's List, and I'm forgetting like 5 right there. But go download our local SEO guide. That's going to have 15 for you. I would also suggest just Googling a lot of, just type in best local search directories. I have not found a complete resource, a good resource for that. I've seen, uh, posts or web pages where they're like, here's the top 100 local search directories, and I look at them, and I'm just like, those are not the top. Those are some really low quality search directories. So I've never found even, and I've seen those posts from what some people would call local SEO experts, and I would call them that too sometimes. But I haven't really found a definitive source, and we plan to create that at the university. So make sure that you stay tuned and go to our website and sign up for our updates. We'll always let you know when we come out with new resources, and we'll come out with something like that very soon, and that you'll be able to use. So that's 15 for you. A good reference would be just to go to Google and look at different local search directories and that other people are talking about, and that's probably a good start for you. All right, and let's. I think we've got another question from the chat real quick. We do. So let's go back here.
Okay.
All right, Jason asks, how do you rank well in neighboring cities? It appears, at least to me, I rank well in my home address city, but how do I rank better in neighboring cities without having a linked address in that particular city? Do I need more content containing those city names? Woo! Man, that's a powerful question. That's a great question, Jason. Let's go ahead and let me pull that off. Let me share my screen again, and I'll get down to that. So Jason's saying, okay, I don't live, let's take Nashville for example. Jason's saying, you know, I don't live in Nashville. I live in somewhere like Bellevue or something. So I don't have an address in Nashville where I can rank really well in here, because there's something underlying what Jason said. If you don't have an address in the city you're wanting to rank for, it's going to be really, really, really difficult to rank in this local pack. If you notice, all these people are in Atlanta, all the way down. Okay, if they are just outside of Atlanta in a different city, it's going to be impossible to rank in here, because Atlanta is such a big city and there's so much competition. You can rank in neighboring cities that have low competition, but if you're trying to rank, let's say, like I said, you were in, let's go with Murfreesboro. You're in Murfreesboro and you're trying to rank in Nashville. You're not going to rank in this local pack. Your best option is to try to rank in the website results instead of the local pack. And that, it's not really that daunting of a task. What you need to do is you probably just need to make a single page dedicated to that city. And so let's take the carpet cleaning example, and let's apply it to Nashville. So if you're in Murfreesboro, your website's probably talking about carpet cleaning in Murfreesboro. But you want to go ahead and start probably just one page, and maybe make it, you know, on your navigation bar, say here's the locations we serve, and then drop down Nashville. So people click on the Nashville page and it says Nashville carpet cleaning, talks all about carpet cleaning. You have your keywords in the right areas. Start building links to that page. Start getting people to link to that page, and that's going to help you rank in the website results, because again, that's the only option you have, is to start ranking through the website results and start ranking through your website. So hopefully that answered that question. It's a great question. Great question. Oh, Conrad also gave a really good example. He said, he gave a good point. He said that to find local search directories, just find what local search directories your competition is in, and that can be a really good strategy. And a lot of times, you know, if you take your #1 competitor in the local packs, the guy who ranks in A, you know, just type in his business name and see what local search directories he's on, and as you go down through the list, those will be ranked in importance. So, you know, Google's more than likely, or more or less, Google's going to assign more importance to a Yelp listing than it will to a city search listing, et cetera, et cetera. So you can go through that, and that's a great example. Great comment, Conrad. Thank you for that. All right, Jeff, you got another one for us real quick?
Sure do. Another question. What is the difference between Google Plus Local, Google Places for Business, and Google Plus?
Wow. Okay, that's going to be potentially a very involved question. Okay, so when Google first came out with the local product, they came out with, I can't even remember the name, it's been so long, but it's something like Google Small Business Center or something like that. Eventually, they scrapped that name and went to Google Places. Okay, and that's what pretty much everyone knows Google Places as is Google Places. Well, then probably about 2 years ago, Google came out with Google Plus, and Google Places was its own product, its own platform. But Google decided to integrate that into Google Plus. They decided to put the two together, and then it was no longer Google Places. It was more Google Plus Local. That was the new term everyone was using, and that's actually the term we still use because I feel like it's the most correct. Well, then they rebranded. You had your Google Plus Local page, but how you changed the information on your Google Plus Local page was you logged into Google Places. So it was kind of confusing. Well, then they took Google Places and rebranded it as Google Places for Business. I have no idea why they did that, but it confused the situation even more. That wasn't that long ago. That was probably less than a year ago, or maybe close to a year. So it completely confused the situation. So now you have all these similar terms. Well, then to even confuse the situation more, they came out with local Google Plus pages for business. Okay, and basically you could go on to Google Plus. Google Plus is Google's social network, right? You can think of it as Google's version of Facebook, right? So what ended up happening is you could create a page and interact with people as a local business, and which was separate from your Google Plus Local page or your Google Places page or whatever. So then that confused things even more. So now you'll still hear people say, "Oh, I'm on my Google Plus page," but every time someone says that, I immediately go, "Oh no." I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a Google Plus page with social features. I don't know if that means your Google Plus Local page, which is tied into Google's local database. I don't know what that means. Then Google decided they were going to let you merge your Google Plus page with your social features into the Google Plus Local page, which was the local database, Google Places for Business. It was going to allow you to merge the Google Plus page and the Google Plus Local page, and then have it all under one roof. Well, that merge didn't go very well, and they're still trying to work it out. I think a year and a half later, has not been. They're getting much better, but they have not been very consistent with their local products. So. It, it, those are the differences. It's just really a timeline. It used to be Google Places, used to be Google, or it still is Google Places for Business. You log into your Google Places for Business account to affect your Google Plus local listing. But really, you can look at it like this. There's a local database, okay, that has your name, address, and phone number in it. Your online reviews are tied to it. It's the traditional page that you have, and we call it your Google Plus local page. It's been called Google Places. It's been called Google Places for Business. Okay, all those terms are synonymous. Then you have your Google Plus page if you have signed up for one with social features and all that stuff. That's the difference. Okay, and so hopefully that clears that up a little bit. And that's actually a resource that we're going to be coming out with, and we'll show you exactly what a Google Places for Business, what that looks like, what Google Plus Local looks like, and we'll make it a little we'll disambiguous these terms for you. But for right now, that's probably a decent description of it. All right, Jeff, you got another one for us real quick?
Yep. Is it realistic for me to get penalized by Google as a local business?
Oh, that's a really good one. Yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is don't worry about it too much. When penalties come out, and penalties is a completely different subject that we could probably tackle on another Google Plus Hangout. But yes, you can get penalized, but if you don't know what these penalties are, you don't need to worry about them too much, because normally less than 1% of people get penalized. So you don't need to worry about them too much. And that's really the truth. If you don't know what a Google penalty is, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, you're probably not in trouble. You're probably not going to be in violation. And if you have heard of penalties before, you probably know what not to do. And so the answer is yes, you can get penalized, but it's very, very rare for that to have happened. Okay. Let's see. Let's go. Jason's got a question real quick. Jason's question is, I have competition who have fictitious or false addresses in the downtown area. Not much I can do about that, question mark. Laugh out loud. Yeah, there probably is something you can do about that. You could report them. A lot, they there's a product that Google has called Google Map Maker, and a lot of times there's a lot of moderators in there, and they try to figure out if people have fictitious addresses. In fact, Google talks about if you don't have a physical area, like if people don't go to work there every day, you're not allowed to use that address. And sometimes people will use, the moderators will use Google Street View to see if there's some signage out front of the building. If not, they will potentially suspend the listing. So you can report them. I never report them. I don't worry about what other people do. I just try to make my stuff better. But you can certainly report them. I wouldn't go as far as to start combating that by registering your own fictitious address. I think eventually Google's going to catch up with that, and there's not gonna, you're going to get penalized. So I wouldn't do that. But I think that is probably going to be it for today. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Google+. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Follow us. We would absolutely love for you guys to connect with us on there. Also, we're going to have these Google Plus Hangouts every single Friday. So make sure that you're paying attention to our social media, but also go to our website and sign up for the Google Plus Hangout updates, and we'll let you know every single time that we're going to have a Google Plus Hangout. We'll let you know how to get with us, how to register. I'll also let you know, how to ask questions so that we make sure we get to them in the Q&A, all that type of stuff. And again, make sure you go download the Local SEO guide. I've put it in. I'll type it in here again. There it is again for you guys. Make sure you go and download that. All you have to do is put in your email address, and that's it. And you can have that shipped straight to your email box, and you can read it. It's about 13 pages, and it really goes more into depth on this topic. And that's honestly, that's about it, guys. If you ever have any questions, like I said, please reach out. Please pay attention to more Google Plus Hangouts, and also let us know what you would want to see on these Google Plus Hangouts. And for those of you listening through the podcast, or you are not watching the replay, or you can't see the chat, you're not going to be able to see the chat in the replay. You can find this Local SEO guide if you just go to our website and go to resources, and there the Local SEO guide will be there. It's not there as of December 20th, 2013 at 10:20 a.m., but it will be there as of December 20th, 2013, 10:40 a.m. That's another way for me saying that it'll be up in 20 minutes. So you can go down there, or you can go there and download that. And again, make sure you keep up with us, guys, and stay connected. And we'll see you soon.